Hey everyone, and welcome to another Full of Germs review. I am Germs, and this is my car. Yes, it's a special edition of my movie reviews, straight from the car, and I just got straight out of, not Compton, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yes, the movie, the newest movie by Quentin Tarantino, his ninth movie, and it is starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and a lot of other people. So, what this one is all about is basically the life and times of a bunch of people in Hollywood, but specifically Leonardo DiCaprio's character of Rick Dalton. You have Brad Pitt's character as Cliff Booth, who is the stunt double of Leo's character, and Margot Robbie, who plays a very real life Sharon Tate. And yes, there is a lot of controversy about this one because why wouldn't there be? This is a Quentin Tarantino movie, and there's always controversy with these movies. And I heard a lot of things about objectifying women and violence. And yes, Manson is in here somehow, some way, as the trailers might show. But this is essentially what happens during this time of 1969, I believe, is the year that the events happen here. So it is fictional, non-fiction, a little bit of everything. It's like Inglorious Bastards or any of the other movies that have a certain time, but not everything would happen as it seems, because I don't believe there's a real Rick Dalton. And I don't believe there's a Cliff Booth. I wouldn't think of this as a Charles Manson movie, but as something of like, here's a day or a week in the life of, Hollywood actors or people living in this Hollywood lifestyle. So that's essentially it. All right, thanks for watching my review. Just kidding. No, so I will give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, yes. So let me give you the good. There is a bunch of good. And I want to try to get into spoiler talk, but I can't because, yeah, that would reveal too much. But the good, I'd say the two main actors, Brad Pitt and Leo, this is, to me, it feels more like Brad Pitt's show. And whenever he shows up on screen, I don't know, something about him reminds me of Brock Sampson from Venture Brothers. And I really dig that. He's just a badass. Like, you want him to be your best friend. Definitely more so than his other best friend role in Fight Club. And yeah, whenever he and Leo, together or apart, are on screen, you're just captivated. And Brad Pitt, he's such a cool guy, and especially in this movie, he's just so cool. With Leo too, you can feel this guy as he's kind of turning up into this washed up actor, as Rick Dalton, or he had his success and now he's just like, how do I keep this up? How do I, keep being Rick Dalton? So it's him going through this journey, and Pitt as the stuntman just trying to deal with all of his things too. So, and you have Margot Robbie, who I enjoyed, but I can't fully put her on the positive list. But there really is not a bad actor or a bad actress in this movie. But I can't really fully put her on the good list either, but I'll get into that. So the other good things are, besides all the actors, besides the two main actors, is the Hollywood setting. The California, Hollywood itself looks beautiful. It looks and feels like it's in the 1960s. And I really felt it with the music, with the TV. Like, there are moments where the TV's on and you're kind of just watching, like, whatever they're watching. And if anyone else did it, it would feel cheap. But somehow Tarantino can get away with it because he makes it look cool and he makes it seem interesting, especially if you've never seen anything like what they show you on the TV or in the movies. It just seems so awesome. It's an awesome throwback. And the crowd that I saw the movie with, which was a packed house, and it's incredible to see that, because even with like other big movies, you don't see a packed house. But for something like this, for a Quentin Tarantino movie, especially one that I don't feel like has been hyped as much, it was a much older crowd, but they all loved it. Like, there's no clapping or hooting and hollering or anything, but this was a group of people that thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and they could see like, ooh, like with any of the little references, any like, oh, FBI is on at 8, or this is this and that, blah blah blah. Like hearing all these things, it just kept people really interested in the product, and me too. I was like, ooh, like man, I want to see whatever show they're talking about or movie they're talking about. So it's really awesome, and I dig it. The movie just looks great. It's a Tarantino movie, so even if you hate the movie, even if you don't find it interesting, there's just something about his movies that the look and the feel, and maybe the dialogue. Some people don't like his dialogue because it doesn't feel quite real, but he's really good at what he does. At least I enjoy it personally. So with that, there's also a bit of suspense and thrills to this movie. As much as this movie is super chill, like super chill, like you don't want to have like a Quentin Tarantino marathon and this be like the ninth movie after you've seen all the other ones, because that one was just like, all right, you're gonna fall asleep, and that may go into the bad, and I'll get into that real quick. But yeah, it is super chill. But when the suspense and thrills, like when anything happens, I was kind of like, oh boy, things are gonna go down. Like something is going to happen. It is pretty exciting and can be very nail biting for those that, yeah, that might not expect it, or you will expect it, or don't expect it. It's still just like, oh crap, something's happening. And the lady that was next to me, which was funny because she had a little dog right next to her, she was like clutching onto her dog like she was Scooby Doo and Shaggy. So it was a lot of fun to deal with that and to see that. But yeah, honestly, those are the good in a nutshell. The bad, real quick. Speaking of real quick, this movie is super slow. It's very long. It's almost 3 hours. There's not a lot of story. There's not a lot of substance. And yeah, it's basically like what I mentioned before, where it's a day in the life of kind of thing. So you see these people at work, at play, doing their thing. And that's kind of it. But again, with these characters, with these actors playing the roles, from Robbie to DiCaprio to Oliphant, who shows in there, Tim Oliphant, a couple other actors I don't want to mention, not to surprise or anything, because they may not show up on the credits, in the initial credits. It's still like, it's a nice surprise to see them, and they add something to each one of their parts. Now, I'll mention it real quick that yeah, there can be a bit of objectifying in this movie, but I guess to some people, or to most people, that's a Tarantino movie, and I could understand with the 60s setting that that's quite prevalent here. But you know, at least with the Robbie character, I feel like she has heart, and again, I think she adds a little bit of the suspense, knowing that what she was a part of and what she had to do with the whole, Manson thing. Again, it's like something hanging over, and I feel like that adds to the thrills of everything. But
8 hours later.
hey, so back here at the studio. Yeah, because my phone decided to overheat. So yeah, let me finish up here with the rest of the review. So to sum it all up, this movie is great. It may not be for everyone. I definitely recommend it for the Quentin Tarantino fans, like the hardcore fans, and for the Hollywood types, because again, this is the love letter to 1960s Hollywood and films before that, and exploitation. It's everything that Quentin loves and that you might love, and especially having to do with movies and Hollywood and all that. And yeah, it's just a great looking movie. Even at his worst, this is not his best for me. I have to place it lower at the scale. And as I've gotten older too, I would say Jackie Brown was my least favorite. This may be my least favorite of the bunch, but even then, it's still very good. And you have all these to kind of go up against. So again, even his weakest film is still really, really strong. So I highly recommend it for those into all that. For anyone that has no idea, for like the young kids that have no appreciation for any of this, like if there's nothing about it that seems interesting for you, don't watch it, because it will be slow, it will drag on. Yeah, there may be some action, there may be some things that really happen here, But yeah, if you don't know the settings, you don't know the world, and you definitely don't know Quentin, this may not be for you. But I recommend it. I enjoyed it. You know, you sit through all this, you will get rewarded in some way or form. There's a lot of great scenes, a lot of great cameos, a lot of great, you know, kind of actors or moments from the past that just happened, that, you know, will really make you smile or really just make you, you know, feel something. And Pacino's in this too. I should mention that too. Al Pacino and a couple other actors. Again, if you are a Tarantino fan, some of the little references scattered through here will help really like bring this home for you. So I highly recommend it on that case. Again, for those hardcore, please, you will enjoy. And that's my review for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Let me know what you think. The movie's been out by now, like a weekend or so at the time of this recording. Let me know what you think of the movie. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you like this review? Did you hate it too? Let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share to all your friends, all that good stuff. I still want to do a Stranger Things review. I might do a spoiler one. Would you want to see that? Let me know down below. At least that's how I know that you've seen the video. If you want me to do that, because I've been kind of wanting to talk about that. And oh, this movie also has kind of a Stranger Things connection too. If you look real carefully, I know I did. I was like, wait, that's blah blah blah. That'll help too. But again, don't go see it if you just like Stranger Things. Anywho, and with all that blabbering, I'll see you in the next video. See you later.